What is up, everybody? Welcome to Perspective Gaming. I'm your host, Flame078, logging in from the real world to give you perspective, or more specifically, getting perspective. This video series tackles something that's been on my mind and spell out my takes, then afterwards we have a discussion in hopes to better understand ourselves. Today's topic, I'm leaving Sony and PlayStation behind. Let's discuss why. Let's get to it. Okay, so I know the thumbnail and the title of this sounds really clickbaity and really dramatic, and I'm sorry for that. It's not my direct intention to be that clickbaity, and I'm not trying to be dramatic, it's just how I feel. And I hope if you click this video, you are trying to understand my reasonings behind this decision. But to the point, and to be upfront, I will not be buying non-exclusive titles on the next PlayStation, or even for the remainder of this generation. The reason is simple. I care way too much about crossplay to continue supporting a company who is so drunk and high off their success that they continue to repeat the mistakes of the past. And what exactly am I talking about? I'm talking about stuff like this. Headlines that I come across from Twitter or articles that I read in the gaming industry. Stuff like this just annoys me. It was already bad enough that they were doing weak excuses to begin with, but this is just too far. How in the world can you be so arrogant? This company is driving me mad. They know what happens when they take over their consumer. They use this very thing to get on top of Microsoft this generation. They also know firsthand what happens when they get too confident and cocky and forget about this very thing, from their misgivings from the PlayStation 2 era to the PS3. It boggles my mind that they somehow are going to repeat the same mistakes. That is so stupid. And I know some of you may be watching thinking, oh god, he's still on that whole Fortnite crossplay thing? Jeez, that game sucked. One, I think the game is really good and I enjoy playing it, so But two, which is the most important thing, is crossplay is something that our future games need, minus exclusives. I think this is the future where gaming needs to go. And if you want to think about any cons, I can't think of any. And I made a whole video talking about the benefits of crossplay way back before this even blew up. And before moving on, of course, I understand that Microsoft has done the same thing in the past. During the 360 era, they were the same exact way. And I recognize right now they are only playing this card because they are trying to win back the consumers and prepare for the next generation. My naive self is hoping that they are smart enough to understand that they should not tread on this topic lightly. If they are going to stick through, then they should stick through, because we will get mad if they decide to backpedal and do some stupid shit in the future. It has bit them in the butt before, so I think Microsoft understands this. So even if that is the reasoning now, I am just glad that right now Microsoft and Nintendo are on the right side of this issue. So why is this a big deal to me? Well, it is because I find it so freeing that I can play with anyone, no matter where they game. It is the best feeling to know that just because you didn't buy it in one place doesn't mean you can't share the same experiences. We have reached a point where there's just no justification to keep this locked. The only place I do see justification possibly in restricting this is when it comes to competitive play for a certain game. Because let's face it, certain machines do have advantages over others. PC Master Race. But other than that, there's no reason to stop me, a PlayStation player, to play with you, an Xbox player. Or me, a PC player, and you, an Xbox player. And this is why I feel the way I do. And this is why I'm making the decision that I am. Take a look at the games I got this generation so far. Yeah, I know, I buy discs, leave me be, I kinda like the whole collecting glitch boxes. Leave me alone. Clearly though, PS4 has a lot of my games. There are also some digital titles in this mix that are not attributed here, so I'll put a number on the screen. Now, let's take a look if we just break them down to console exclusives. The pile looks a bit different now. It's not that dramatic of a difference, especially if you include digital downloads that are exclusives. Then it is a lot more even than it looks. Now let's look at the pile of the non-exclusive games, and it's a ton. Again, also add the digital versions, and this list is massive. This list alone was worth over $600 in what I paid for $60 games for majority of all of this, which means that money is part of what Sony is getting every time I do business for the PlayStation. I game on the PS4 because my friends and I decided at the start of this generation to play on the PS4. Most of my friends are the same way as I am. We have our main console, but then we have the others that we look to have to ensure we don't miss out on exclusives. My friend has the Xbox he games on, and he has a Switch to make sure he plays Nintendo games. I have the PS4, and then I also have the Xbox to make sure I don't miss any Xbox exclusives. We're all similar in that way. So if you look at that library I just showed you of that value of, let's say, over $600, and imagine if all of that went to the different company. Imagine if 100 of us did it, 1,000 of us, 10,000s of us, right? That stack of non-exclusive games will go and help the developers we want, because obviously we're buying their games, but they're also going to be used to make a point. And that is, if you're going to continue to be anti-consumer, I'm going to take my business elsewhere. And I know what you might be thinking and saying, well, why don't you just cut out PlayStation completely and don't buy the exclusives? And I thought of that, but the way I am is I just can't justify going that far. But here's the thing, not everyone is on the same boat as me. If anything, majority of the people that I think are on the world probably own maybe one of the consoles. So what I'm talking about, you really can't do. But I urge you, and my recommendation then there is, for the next generation, go Xbox. Leave PlayStation behind. No need to be loyal to a company that treats you like garbage, that's not thinking about the best interest for gamers. And on the note of first party exclusives, well, again, maybe down the line I could get convinced to just stick to one console, considering the difference in size between exclusives was not that big. I could justify doing that, but right now there's so many games on PlayStation that are exclusive that I still want to play. You also might be asking and wondering, is crossplay really worth doing all of this? And the short answer to that is yes. Think about this. For those who game on all or almost all platforms, or decide to have a PC, Xbox, Nintendo Switch, PS4, for us gamers that just like to have games and access to all the games possible, one thing that we get stuck choosing a lot is one of two things. When it comes down to buying the game on a certain platform, you're either going to choose to sacrifice one group of friends, or you could easily buy both. Those are both valid options. But that last one is something that is unlikely for a lot of people. Take me, for example. I've only done that once, and for one game, Battlegrounds. And that is only because it was really easy. Buying both versions of the game cost me the same as a $60 game, so it was worth doing that. And this is coming from a guy who has the luxury and the potential to buy the games on multiple platforms. I kind of do have that money. I just don't see it being worth doing that. Now take into consideration that not everyone is like me that can buy multiple versions of the game. What then? They are going to be stuck doing that. And on the flip side of that coin, take a look at those who only maybe own just an Xbox or just a PS4. They don't even get that choice. If they have friends they want to play with that's in another system, they can't. It's over. That's it. The only way they'll be able to is if they buy an Xbox. But if they're stuck to one console per generation, chances are they might not be able to do both. Remember, gaming is an expensive hobby. Not everyone has the luxury to have everything. Cross-play fixes all of this. Now you can buy the game you want to play, support the company you want to support, and play who you want to play with. It fixes the multi-platform issue, and it fixes the single console owner issue. Everyone wins. So as a quick recap for me deciding to leave PlayStation. 1, I cannot support a company that is this arrogant and this stuck in their ways to listen to what the consumers want, and to not be that future facing and looking to what gaming should be. And 2, I want a game experience that I can enjoy with everyone, no matter where I play. I'm going to continue to want to have all the games available, so I want to be able to have less of a worry. And I do believe this is where the gaming industry should head towards. If Microsoft and Nintendo maintain this stance, then developers will continue to develop games that everyone can play with. Sure, it might be a few titles now, but if everyone is down and about it and supports it, then games are going to flood with this capability and it's going to become standard. Obviously, the only exceptions to this would be first party exclusive, which I agree that's how it should be. If you're going to make a first party exclusive, then make a first party exclusive and make it only for that console. But if you're developing and publishing games for everyone, then let everyone play. And with that, I have a call to action to you guys, whoever's watching this video. And it's really simple, really, and only feel that you need to do this if you agree with the points that I've made or you feel the same way about the issue. 1. For multi-console owners, stop buying non-exclusive games on PlayStation. Buy them on the Xbox. If you want to go as far as sacrifice Sony first-party games, more power to you. That is definitely a plus, but definitely not needed. 2. Do not buy the next PlayStation. No matter who you are, if you buy all consoles or only have been buying PlayStation forever, the next PlayStation, do not buy. At the very least, do not buy within the first year of launch. This will let them know head on at the start of the next generation that they've made a grave mistake and that we will not be taken lightly. And lastly, please share this video and this message across to get the wave going. The more people on board, the more effective this will be. This is the prime example of what we should be doing when it comes to speaking with our wallets. Now, I completely understand that things can change and we are far from the next generation and we are far from done hearing about Sony's response to this issue. But it is good to start acting now and get the ball rolling now, so that way we are better prepared for the future, and that way we can course correct Sony and their misgivings, because that's what this is about. I don't want to punish them forever, I just want them to change their views. But again, these are just my thoughts, my opinions, my decisions. I can only suggest what you should do. So I hope that helps and explains where I'm coming from. And with that, I'll wrap this video. And that is the end of this video. Thank you for tuning in to this installment of Getting Perspective. These are just one man's thoughts, but now it's time to turn it over to you. Like I said, these are my actions and I would love to know your thoughts on them, whether you agree or disagree or see other ways to get the point across. Leave all this and more in the comment section down below, and let's hope and strive for perspective. If you enjoyed this video, please support this channel by giving me a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate that, and it will let me know to give you more of this type of content. To stay updated on the latest and greatest over here, please hit that subscribe button and make sure to hit the notification bell. That way you know when my next video drops or the next time I go live. I release weekly videos such as gaming discussions, video gameplays, and other gaming variety content. This is Perspective Gaming. I'm your host Flame078, logging off for now, and until next time, adios.